Welcome back to Counterculture. Pastor Mark, we've been in the book of Nehemiah, bebopping back and forth, taking a little break, coming back to it, bebopping. So I have several favorite applicational principles. How's that?
My word.
In the Bible, right?
What have I
I
walked
love
into?
applicationalization-ism.
Oh, my word. I don't know that I can even keep up with you.
There you
today,
go.
Andrew.
I love application.
Okay.
My my very favoritist applicational passage is John 8, where we learn about dropping your rock, right? The woman caught in adultery.
Yes. Yes.
My second favorite applicational scripture
Yes.
is in Nehemiah chapter 3.
Yes.
Which most people don't go to, partly because
Right.
they don't like talking about dung gates and things like that.
Right. Fish gates,
I want to read.
fishy bacala,
Yeah, I want.
valley gates.
I want to read a couple verses to you, and then tell you the principle, and then I want you to tell me how you would apply it. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
There we go.
The sons of Hassanah built the fish gate, right? And then they laid its beams, set its doors, its bolts, and its bars. And next to them, Meremoth, the son of Uriah, son of Hakaz, repaired. And next to them, Meshullam and the son of Berechiah, son of whoever, repaired. And next to them, somebody, the son of somebody, repaired. And next to them, somebody repaired. And next to them, somebody repaired. And next to them, somebody repaired. That's the whole concept of this. You ready? For my principle. I'm sorry that you're still trying to catch up on my version.
I'm like, yeah, I don't mind them say somebody.
That's
Okay.
exactly. I had a great older pastor once telling me,
Yes.
why butcher names when you can just say somebody?
Somebody. Yeah. Someone
that's what I
important
did.
because
That's
they made it
exactly-
into the Bible.
And the people listening, they don't know who
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you
Gotcha.
just say somebody. All right, so here's the concept. Nehemiah came up with a brilliant idea. This is my take on it. He had families, right? Rebuild the wall around Jerusalem, right? And he gave families sections of the wall, and usually what he did,
Did they get a plaque?
I think
Said
so.
this part of so they could never tear that wall down again.
It's where we get the principle
Yeah.
of stained glass windows.
Gotcha.
It's a biblical concept.
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
it's in the Bible.
each family repaired a gate and a section of the wall, right, or part of the wall, right, and they were to do this in a way where their family did the work. They were next to another family who did the work, next to another family who did the work, and all around the city wall started to build up evenly, right?
Oh boy, this is going to be good.
So here's the principle, right? The principle is mind your own gate. If at any time any of these families had decided that another family needed help, right, or they wanted to skip their part and do another part, and then what would happen is you have uneven walls going up, but you have gaps in the wall. And whenever we have a community of believers, this principle to me is the single most important principle for building community. We do our part in the community, right? And we do our part and allow others to do their parts. Because if we aren't doing our part, then we're going to affect the rest of the community, right? If we get off in trying to help somebody else do their part, good, bad, or ugly, for whatever the reason, then we're not doing ours and the wall doesn't go up evenly. And then there's a breach in the wall and then we have problems. And we see this in church all the time. I could give you some practical examples, but I'm going to say somebodies, right? There are a lot of somebodies, maybe me included, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Who are so busy guarding somebody else's gate, worried about somebody else's gate, worried about somebody else's wall, that they leave their gate unguarded, unfinished, and their wall unfinished. And the enemy comes up through those ways. We tend to focus a ton on other people and what they are or aren't doing. And we're not always paying attention to the little foxes that could easily get over our part of the wall.
Spoils the vine.
That's exactly right. So we look at the weaknesses, the faults of other people, and we say, oh, I got to focus on helping you, and then we're not so worried about ours, right? There's a reason why Jesus made this principle the pay attention to the plank in your own eye before you deal with the speck in somebody else's
and then
eye.
when Peter and Jesus, what about him?
Yep.
And Jesus says, what is that to you? You stay focused.
That's exactly right. So again, the enemy works by getting us to focus on other people and not paying attention to even the little things that we're doing that are going to allow the enemy to attack and the enemy to work. So let me make this for you to make applicable for me. How's that for English? Make this applicable to me. We live in a society today where we are constantly being told to watch other people. We're constantly being told that we have to pay attention to what other people are doing, that we have to control other people because they don't know what they're doing, or they don't care about us, or they don't love us, or they don't, whatever it is. And sometimes we're leaving our wall, our gates unguarded. How do we guard against doing that, which is pretty natural? It is natural to be Peter and to look at John and say, what about him? Right? How do we apply this principle within church, within our families, within our communities today? I made that so long in order for you to have some time to think.
Well, but it's almost too much time to think, because now I've got all. First, I'm going to say, now I understand these gates, where they got their names, was that is the last name of the people who worked on that gate.
Yeah.
So, like the first guy is the sons of Hassanah. His last name was Fish, because they worked on the fish gate. I thought it was because where do you get fish in Jerusalem? You know, I mean, they got it out of the Sea of Galilee. I understand, but you know,
it makes sense.
It's desert. Well, anyway,
enlightened.
Okay, so several things are coming to mind.
Good.
Yes, 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 and yes. I agree with you all the way. Oh, you wanted a further explanation.
Well, I mean, I kind of
okay. So I agree with you, and it is a problem because we do get ours, and yet we're also told that we are to be concerned about others. Paul says, "Do not look just as none. Do not look to your own needs, but look to the needs of others." That is needs. That is not business. There can be a difference here, because we can say, "Well, I'm just trying to help here." You were talking about. I remember some words at one of the churches I pastored that would cause more problems. Well, if I was doing it,
we've always done it.
Oh, we've always done it that way. And that was the first one. Then the other one was, well, if I was doing it, and then the fight was on. Well, Pastor, I'm just not going to help with that because they would rather do it. Let them do it. Oh my goodness! Tracy Strawberry calls it staying in your lane.
That's amazing.
Staying in your lane, and I asked you to sing with me on my things. You won't do it. Now, I don't know why, but I'm guessing you don't feel that's your lane, and that's okay.
I'm retired from that lane.
You're retired from that. Okay.
I'm a retired singer.
Okay. So it is, knowing what our strengths are. I love what they talk about in Strengths Finders, because I've gone through a couple lectures on that before, teachings on it. We're always told, well, you need to work on your weakness. You need to work on your weakness. Well, a good leader will have people around him who make up for his weakness. I learned that in my first church when I had an insurance examiner on my board, and he was traveling all the time. He'd be home on the weekends, and we had ICE take down do some damage on the fellowship hall. And I'm trying to deal with the insurance company. I've never dealt with insurance. I never had to deal with it. It was a debacle. And he comes home, and I said, "This is just a nightmare." And he goes, "Mark, let me take care of it." I mean, like that, the problem was solved, and it was done. It's not my gig to do that. I don't like doing that. I have a treasurer now who here, would you take care of this? And she loves it, and I don't, and so she takes care of it. I've had to learn that after 20 years of marriage, that my wife has some gifts that I did not tap into. So imagine what we can do when we all are doing our thing. I like how you talk about the gaps in the wall and stuff. If we would just do our part, not worry, stay focused. There's something about staying focused upon what is the mission, which is what one of the problems in the church today. This is where part of what's happening is we're having all these things thrown at us. Now all of a sudden I've got to become the mass police in my church or whatever. As a friend of mine told me, because I don't work for the governor, I don't work for the government. It's not. You want to make our own executive said, I don't have the people to do this. Okay, what if we all just did the right thing? I got a friend who's, he doesn't want government all. He goes, if we would just do what this thing says,
we'd be good.
we'd be good. We wouldn't need all the other stuff. We would just tend to our part on the wall. God says, and here's the thing. God says, Andy, here's what I want you doing. I need to let you do it because it's not my thing to do it. You know, so what is God calling me to do? What has He called me to do? And am I doing it?
Well, I think the enemy has, devised this within the church idea of we all need to have equal say or a say in that which God is doing, right? Because we're corporate, God never calls an individual to do something.
Yeah. God didn't put church boards together.
Nope, He didn't, right? And I love this concept, right? Like what you're saying. Why do I need to call a board meeting together to fix something in the church if we know who to go to fix something in the church? Right? Like why is it that there's so much red tape? And Nehemiah's like, you guys fix this. But if you don't, here's what's going to happen. It's going to go up unevenly. Yeah. This is going to be a problem.
Yeah. Hey, Pastor, the toilet's running over on a Sunday morning. Can you get the board together to give me permission to fix it? Just fix it!
Well, and we see that, but again, we benefit as churches because it's a control thing. Like we want to know what's going on instead of giving people the freedom to say, "Hey, do it." You don't need my permission to send a card to somebody in the church. You just don't. Send a Christmas card.
Is it okay if I call that person? It's okay. No, just do it. If the Lord's laying it on your heart, do it.
But at the same time, we need to also realize that God, in this case Nehemiah, right, was working with God to build up the walls of Jerusalem. Nehemiah assigned certain sections to people. God gives out assignments.
Yeah.
Within a church, God says, hey, here's your assignment, here's your assignment, here's your assignment. Yes. We need to give people the freedom to be able to do that.
And there are things that we are all assigned to. We are all assigned to forgive. We are all assigned to show love. But is an individual thing is, there's some things that God asks certain people to do, and they are to do them,
Yeah. Well, and
that's where the apostles started getting all sideways, and they're you're in the inner circle and I'm not. Okay, do you have a job to do? Yeah. What are we called to do? To serve the Lord.
And when we get sidetracked, again, like we said, that's when the little things can start happening that we're not paying attention to because we're so busy worried about this. And that's what the enemy also wants us to do. He doesn't want us to worry about the little things that we need to take care of in our own lives. He wants us to worry about the big gap in your wall.
The distractions of Mary and Martha.
Yeah. Yep. That's and that's
Jesus wept, but Mary swept.
Oh, that's preachable right there.
That just came to me.
That was fantastic.
Listen, Martha swept.
And Mary.
What was Mary doing?
Mary was at the feet.
Mary leapt because she was so overjoyed. At being at the feet of Jesus. I just came up with that. Jesus wept, Mary leapt, Martha swept.
Coming to a sermon near you.
Really, 3 points.
Yeah, really good.
No, it was not. It was really funny, good. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe. All right.
I like it.
You're going to preach it Sunday, aren't you?
I probably am, as a matter of fact.
Probably not.
I probably
All right.
All right, so let's leave it there. Next week.
Stay in your lane.
Next week.
Help only if you're asked.
We'll continue. We'll continue with Nehemiah. I got another question.
All right.
What to do when people do need your help?
Oh.
It's good.
Oh.
See, now you know. Now you know.
Wow, you never give me a heads up.
I know. I'm
all right.
I'm feeling nice. Wait. We'll see you next time. Counter culture.